What's going on, guys? I'm Shizwack, and I'm back with another Should I Buy It, where I take a game on your request, break it down, rip it apart, and give you everything you need to know to make a sound decision on that purchase. Let me waste my money so you don't have to. Note, these aren't quite reviews, but more of an overview and introduction of a game. You're going to know everything you need to know before you buy it. So you rate it at the end, and you make that decision on whether or not you want to buy it. Today, The Witcher 3. I've had a few viewers request this one, so I wanted to get it out. First, I want to say, the other Witchers, if you haven't played them, go play them. They're not quite as monstrous as this one. They're still solid RPGs, just quite a bit more linear. They've got great stories, great characters, great lore, and just all around awesome entertainment. People will ask right away, well, how does this compare to Skyrim? I heard it was a big RPG. What's the land like? What's the map size like? I'm going to get right into that, but I want to say, if you enjoyed Skyrim, Dragon Age, any other RPG on those scales, you'll love this one. I've logged well over 100 hours, and have heard there's somewhere around 200 hours at least. Anyway, here we go, The Witcher 3, let's rock and roll. And here we are, in the fair city of Novigrad, the free city of Novigrad. You'll see right away, it's quite a pretty game. I'm running everything on Ultra right now, so this is about as good as it's going to look, unless you get into 4K. We've got something going on here. Someone with a weapon out, maybe? They're screaming. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Anyway, so this city is a big part of the game. It's not everything, but I mean, a huge chunk of the game just takes place in the city alone. It's that big. So, I want to start with the map, because that's usually the first thing any RPG fans will be looking at. How big is it? And here is the world map, known as the continent. So you may look at it and think to yourself right away, well, that doesn't look very big, but 1 second. I'm going to show you each of the areas. We're going to start up here at Kaer Morhen. Okay, so all of this is playable, with the mountains being the borders. This is a fast travel. As you travel around, you will discover new areas, and you can fast travel any of the maps with those. White Orchard. This would be the starting zone, where you'll kind of be introduced to the game. It's still quite large, takes some time to make it across on foot, but that is White Orchard. I'll show you the Royal Palace of Vizima. Just a palace, that's pretty much it. There's a main part of the quest that takes place in here, and of course the Emperor's seated here. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but it is just a palace with a fast travel. Velen, No Man's Land. This would be Novigrad up here. I'll get into that in a second, but this is one of the big, I'd say, main areas of the entire game. It's just enormous. It is huge to explore. All kinds of things to explore. It's all interesting. This map was handcrafted, lots of detail, lots of things to find. Enormous. So large. Now, if I click on Novigrad, it'll kind of bring me back to the same map, but like I said, this is Novigrad. A lot of it takes place in this city alone, so it did deserve its own kind of spot on the world map, but just to walk around it, it's huge. It's huge. Novigrad. And then off to the Skellige Isles. Also, enormous. Look at all of this to explore. You can sail around it, hit the islands. All of those question marks are things to be discovered. I either discovered those through books or NPCs or quests, and I have yet to get to them, but it is fun to sail around and check out all these little hidden areas. There's shipwrecks, there's a lot of swimming in this game as well. You can go explore underwater, and that will give you an idea. of how large The Witcher 3 is. Now, room to expand? Hell yeah, there is. So we'll see what CD Projekt Red has in store. But you never know. Maybe they'll give us some DLC with some new provinces. But in the meantime, there is tons of landmass to go through. If I had to compare it to Skyrim, because a lot of you will be doing that, I'm going to go out and say that it's at least of what... I mean, everything put together, it's going to be at least of what Skyrim is. I want to get through the other screens here and just show you a bit more because they kind of reinforce what we're going to be doing in combat and everything else. One of the main ones being the Bestiary. So there's tons of different monsters in this game. A big part of being a Witcher, if you're unfamiliar, is Witchers are monster hunters, trained, raised, and bred to kill monsters. They drink poisons to enhance their senses, and they can see in the dark, do all kinds of cool shit. I'm talking like classic monsters, vampires, werewolves. They're all so unique. And as you kill these monsters, you are going to run into some tough ones. So the handy Bestiary here gives you options, their vulnerabilities. If you're having trouble killing a monster, look up their vulnerabilities. If you've ran into them, read some books, learned it from NPCs, you will start unlocking these vulnerabilities, and it just kind of gives you an idea of the best way to kill them. And there's tons, right? I mean, look, vampires alone. Here's 4 different kinds. I'm not even done the game. Next screen. Tutorial, pretty straightforward. Characters, lots of lore here. Look at this. Look at the amount of characters. These are all unique NPCs. There's no reading in this game. It's all voiced, and all of these NPCs have their own personalities. Some you're going to love them, some you're going to hate. The acting is phenomenal. Crafting, you're going to need a blacksmith or a swordsmith, armorsmith or swordsmith to get a lot of this stuff, but there's a huge crafting system. Tons of mats that you collect on your travels. Some of them you can break down, or most of them you can break down, and you'll just be kind of using different combinations to make your desired items. And this just kind of gives you a short idea of how many items there are to craft. You find recipes to unlock them. Sometimes NPCs unlock them, but you'll constantly be crafting. You'll always use this system as long as you're playing. So it's very fun, and it's quite deep on its own, yet very intuitive. Alchemy. You basically find we'll call them recipes, and everything from substances, alcohol, because alcohol is the base of all poisons. You've got bombs, which are like grenades, and there's all different kinds. Decoctions, which are insanely strong enhancements. There's a poison level that you have to work with here because, I mean, you are a Witcher and you can handle the poison, but if you drink too much, you will end up hurting yourself. So you got to watch your poison level, and these generally will jack your poison toxicity maxed out. So then you will not be able to use the other ones, which can also come in handy. I mean, that's why each fight is going to be different. You're gonna base what you're doing, you know, how you're fighting and what you want to use as they come. Oils, you apply them to your weapons. You'll see here also it says you have already crafted this item. So these items are in my inventory automatically, and they will be created automatically if I'm missing some from the stack. You can only have a max number in a stack depending on the oil or poison, and then when you meditate, which is in essence resting, you then regenerate any of the ones you're missing. It's quite handy. Your inventory. The inventory is good. It works. I find I don't know, there's just something a little too complicated, I'll say, about it. Like, you get into these windows and we're talking hundreds of ingredients, and I've been at points where I've said to myself, okay, like, I'm running out of weight here. You'll see here the weight, and I don't even know what to sell. I don't even know what would be smart to sell. I don't know what I should break down. It's just daunting. There's a lot to go on with crafting, and a lot of it contributes to the weight you're carrying. So aside from that, I have no complaints. Quests, main quests, secondary quests, and then there's Witcher contracts. So each of these is a separate situation that you're going to have to investigate. You're going to have to use your Witcher senses, which I'll show you in a minute, and basically hunt down the monster and kill it, and then bring its head in or whatever for the reward. And aside from that, there's treasure hunts, which take place. There's hundreds of these, depending on what you find, and lots of little unique spots on the map where you'll read something and it'll give you a little hint to where there'll be a treasure. Character. Oh boy, the RPG part. Right. So we have, weapon stuff, sign stuff, because The Witcher uses signs, little bits of magic, and you have a total of 5 signs, so variations of each one depending on what you have maxed out here. And the leveling system isn't that fast, which is great in my opinion, but you can get points to unlock these, whether through stones of power, which are secret spots all around the map where you can get an ability point, or otherwise you'll get 1 every level. And so like I was saying here, just general combat, signs, alchemy, toxicity levels and potencies and that kind of thing. And then you have general signs, and then you have mutagens. So the mutagens, you kind of equip them in here. They have some different intensities, I'll say. So for example, this one's a 5%. I've got a 7% in there right now. I should probably look to see if that needs to be updated, but as you level up, you'll be unlocking these spots and dragging what you want over. So there's different combinations of signs and power-ups that you can use to kind of customize the way you want to play the game, and it's a great system. There's no stats or anything, but it all works with this. These here will take power from these and give you this bonus right here. You don't level up too quickly. You're not finding things too easy, too fast. You may venture off the beaten path and run into something that's 20 levels above you. I love that. I love how everything doesn't scale to your level. And then meditation. So you literally just kind of click there, and if there's potions to be made and everything else, it'll just notify you down here. There is a full night cycle and day cycle, and of course hunting monsters at night can always be fun, but some you're going to have to hunt at night. There's certain kinds of wraiths, I'll just throw out that example right away, that you can only find at noon, or you can only find at midnight. So depending on the type of wraith you're hunting, you may have to change that time of day, and that's basically how meditation works. Let's get to some gameplay. I'll show you around a bit. So you'll see I have a path on the map, and it's kind of just... Oh, here's some guys in here that want to fuck with me. Low level. Let's rock and roll. There's dodging, right? There's parrying, blocking. You could time it. Let's time one here. You give him the kick, expose him. There's rolling, and then there's signs. How beautiful is that? This guy too? Oh, you want some? There we go. And 2 swords, because we have a steel sword and a silver sword.
So much work.
Silver for monsters, steel for beasts and humans, non-humans, whatever. Let's see what's up with this contract. Like I said, every time you speak to someone, it's fully independently voiced. It's immersive. Most buildings you can go into, you can explore them, you can loot them. There isn't a theft system or a stealth system in this game. As long as a guard isn't watching you, and even if they are, you run away, come back, no big deal. You can loot everything.
Yes?
Alright.
Count Kurt Dysart.
Are you here regarding the combat?
Oh, and there's haircuts.
Wanted to hire
You
a
could
witcher,
shave your
didn't you?
face, you could style your
I did,
beard,
but
you can
not
style
just
your
any
hair for
vagabond.
just a small fee.
One hears all manner of stories about the lunatics of...
Every time you do a contract, you can talk about your reward. Let's do
Let's
that.
talk about my reward first.
There's an
I beg your
annoyance level.
pardon? Asking for
So if you
coin
ask for too
already,
much,
but
you'll
you've not done
eventually
the
get, I think,
job.
shut out. I don't know. I've
Need to
never
make
asked
sure
for
it's worth my
way
time.
too much to the point where I've annoyed them and
Look at
pissed
that.
them off. I don't know. Maybe they
Arrives
cut
in
you out and say,
Leathergraph,
fuck
he's off
you,
his head
I'll
in
get
a
someone
minute.
else. Or maybe they just default
Very
back to
well.
what's normal and you don't
How
have a
much
chance
do you
to get
believe
anything
this should
extra.
cost me?
And in the end, I always found with the negotiating, it's, what did I get, max 30 crowns out of it? It's not even worth it,
Yeah,
really. Not worth the time,
agreed.
but whatever. It's fun.
Fine. I'm willing to investigate. How do I get there?
All right, let's get it done. I'll show you a bit about Witcher Senses and what that is all about. We're gonna point out as I'm walking over here, the HUD is fully customizable, so you can make it so, you know, you don't have names above NPCs and monsters. You can get rid of your mini-map. You can get rid of this fast path there. You see the dots, the GPS kind of thing on your mini-map. Just all different ways, and it almost can play right into difficulty of the game. So, and here it is, a signpost. It's called Roach here. You can call your horse at any time. You see the big griffin head hanging off him. All of this is customizable too. You may have seen in the inventory. You can get different saddlebags which affect your inventory weight, a different saddle which is stamina, and horse blinders, because depending on if you're running through monsters and everything else, your horse will get spooked.
Move it!
You can run along roads as such. You just basically hold the run key, let go of the directional, and the horse will follow the road. Or you could just ride off the beaten path.
So this is the haunted house. Whole building shaking. But a specter would have attacked me already.
See, we've got something down there. That's my hearing. If it's red, you can investigate.
Inhabitants clearly left in a hurry.
And there's tons of quests where you do this. Kind of investigating and rooting around and solving mysteries. There's books to read, just like Skyrim.
Scattered salt. Probably to drive ghosts away. Pointless superstition.
Let's do a quick save. Like I said, I am on hard. My health is precious. I can't get it back by meditating. I have to actually eat or drink.
There's something in there.
Let's do that now. So, sometimes you have to use signs to get through things. Ard, it's a force wave kind of thing. Force push. And we have a hidden cave. Something over there.
No one's been here in a while.
Something going on in there.
Not the root of any ordinary plant. Must be magic. Looks like a journal.
You may know that witchers do not have emotions. The training and physical and mental mutations have stripped them of emotions. Probably a good thing. We've got a journal here. Anyway, if you wanted to read that, you could. There's so many books in this game, too.
An earth elemental. Pretty powerful, too.
Alright.
Gotta go deeper. Need to open the passage somehow. Almost managed to break its magic bonds. A few days more and it would have wreaked havoc all around.
Well, that did something. Let's roll. Now, I like Irden. That's how you pronounce it. It slows them down, especially for these big-ass elementals. They're quite handy. He hurts. So you'll see my toxicity going up as I break their bones. Strong swing, like a power attack. I like fast ones, really. Done and done. Then you loot him. And at the same time, you grab the trophy. If his head can be cut off, you'll always get a little animation of Geralt chopping the monster's head off. Let's cash this shit in and see what is up.
House shouldn't give you any more trouble. A little renovation and it should be fit for you to move into.
There we go. With an achievement. Contract done. And there's one other thing I want to show you, and that is Gwent. You may have heard of it. It's a little card game.
Oh, wish my man was
Not quite little. It's a huge part of this game. There's quests based around it. You build your deck as you go, winning new cards. I'm going to show it to you here. You can get into it just by hitting escape and to check your deck and modify it. So there's 4 factions. Choose one. You'll learn to like one. They all have kind of their own perks. They all have their own leaders, which have their own cards that you unlock, which each has its own ability. You need at least 22 cards in your deck to play with the deck. You want your as few as you can while having the right ones in there. So I've been building this deck for a while. It's my monster deck. It's mostly melee, but it is quite powerful because monsters have a lot of these cards, and there's all kinds of different perks. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I just want to show you one game quickly here. It's so addictive, it's so fun, and it really needs to be its own game. If I could play this on my phone, outside of The Witcher, I would. I love this game. Merchants, you can usually challenge any merchant or innkeep. Innkeeps usually have some cards that you can buy. This merchant plays Gwent. You can see here the cards, hoping for a round of cards. It's grayed out, so I have played him and beat him. And then you can kind of bet on what you want to wager. Let's go full out.
Wanted to play cards. Doubt we need to wait till tomorrow.
All right. We'll throw Triss in there because I just got her. I think I'm good for this deck right now. I'm going to get rid of one of these. I'm also getting rid of one of those. Better chance that I'm going to get good cards. Like I said, the less there are, the better. So, modify your deck. Choose who you want to go with. These are hero cards. There's all kinds of perks to them. I'm not going to get into all the rules, but I'll just run you through it quickly. At the start, you can discard 2 cards, just like Hearthstone if you've played it. It's actually not a bad setup right now. And you have, like I said, this is my side, that's his side, 2 gems. You need to win 2 games to win the round, and that's all there is to it. So, let's start with... Put them out. That grabs all the other cards, the vampire cards from my deck, and lays them out because it has that perk, the white circle on the card. Now, let's make them surrender. So, I'm going to put this down. Get our... This is your total battle points, or whatever the hell you want to call them. Your attack. He should have passed, so... Let's just beef him up a bit more here. I'm gonna be risky here. You don't... Putting big cards down right away, if he has like a Scorch, it basically gets rid of the strongest card on the field, so if he has one, I lose all 3 of these. The 3 Witch Sisters here. Let's see how good he is. He passed. So he passed because he doesn't see himself beating me this round. So I'm not going to keep laying cards, I'm going to pass and I'm going to win the round. Sometimes they go on a lot longer. Each faction has a unique ability. Mine is leave 1 on the board, which it just did. Unfortunately, it was this measly card he laid down, which it has this ability here. Place on your opponent's battlefield, count towards opponent's total, and draw 2 cards from your deck. Alright, let's throw down... Let's start light here. So I'm going to keep going light, because what I want to happen now is him to throw down some more 8-point cards, and then I can scorch him. So... Heroes can't be scorched. Let's keep going. Doubles the points, that's what this little horn is. so addictive. It's so fun to play. It never gets tedious or tiring. Now let's see. Watch me go back on what I said here. I'm going to throw the Scorch down and see if it gets rid of... It should get rid of this. Fuck. Ah, fuck. I had a 10 point and I didn't see it. My bad. I may lose this round. That's my last card, so that's it for me. Now I'm just going to hope he doesn't go past 58. It's up to him now. 3 cards to go. Come on. I'm going to pass and just let him do what he has to do. There's different tiers because you can apply like weather cards, and weather cards will usually... Like, that's a clear weather, which would take away any bad weather, but there's like fog, ice, and rain, I think is the other one. And I won. And depending on the weather card, that will weaken all the cards in that row. So sometimes you get a clear weather to clear it all up. He played it because he's a computer and didn't know what he was doing, but there we go. I won, and that's Gwent. Huge part of the game. So fun. Looking forward to an independent Gwent game myself. CD Projekt Red developed that on their own, and what a job they did. And I just wanted to show you guys a bit on the boat. So you can go all over the place as long as there's water. You can fast travel with them if you want into ports and everything else, but some areas you'll need to take a boat to get to see it. But here it is. It's just a simple boat with a damage. You'll see the in the left corner there. There's my damage indicator because monsters can attack your boat. They'll start hanging off the sides and it can sink. But here it is. Beautiful.
Any shortcuts?
Oh, World's End. So let's turn around. That's what happens when you go off the map. It wants us back in. Now you know. And there's a full weather system. I would like to mention that. You've only seen clear weather here, but the rainstorms feel real. It's just amazing. The weather in this game is some of the best weather I've seen. The wind effects, it's immersive. It all feels intense, and it's just random. So you haven't seen any yet. It's a nice, clear, windy day, but clear. But when it kicks in, holy shit, the weather makes a difference. Oh, we got some buggy drowners over there just standing on the water. That doesn't usually happen. You see that, CD Projekt Red? There's a bug. There is the odd bug. I mean, the game's huge. Oh, and there's fucking whales. That's right. You'll be cruising along, caught me off guard, and a giant-ass whale might swim up beside you or in front of you or behind you, and the first time it happened, I thought I was under attack and twitched all over the fucking place and threw my mouse pretty much. But yeah, there's whales. So there it is, guys. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Phenomenal game. It's enormous. There's tons of gameplay to be had here. Like I said, if you like giant-ass RPGs which require a huge investment, this is for you. And I'm going to wrap it up there. I want to say thanks for watching. I need you to know how much I appreciate your viewership, guys. It really means a lot. If you want to see a video covered, leave it in the comments below, or on any other video for that matter. I'm Shizwack, all one word. Hit that subscribe button and follow me on Twitter. Have a great one, guys. Peace.